So good morning everyone, good afternoon or good evening. Welcome to this meditation session from Tushita Mahayana Meditation Center in Delhi. My name's Thubten Tenpa and I'm going to be leading this session today. So just firstly begin by settling into your posture and into the place where you're seated, and into your environment, just checking that it's in the most conducive conditions as possible to have the most comfortable posture. So whichever is most suitable for you, either on a chair or seated on a cushion on the floor. And so if you're in the favorable position, seated on a cushion on the floor with your legs crossed, again in a way that's most comfortable for you, so that you're able to complete the session with as little to no movement as possible. And then just rest your hands in your lap, palms facing up, with the right palm inside the left palm, and the thumbs just gently touching, and the elbows pointing outwards around it, so that we have some space under the arms. And make sure your back is straight and upright, but not overly strained. And just lean slightly forward. And with the head supported on the shoulders, slightly tilted downwards towards the floor, with the eyes closed, slightly open, and the eyes focused on the ground in front of you through the tip of your nose. The jaw should be relaxed and not clenched. Teeth should not be clenched. The tongue up, just resting behind the palate of the upper front teeth. And the shoulders also relaxed, not slouching forwards. Try to keep them back. But you should be in a comfortable posture and not straining in any way. If you're on a chair, just sit slightly forward on the chair, not resting back. And with your legs at a right angle to the floor, with the feet sitting flat on the floor. You can put a cushion under them if they don't quite touch the floor flat. And then just settle into the breath. I'm just going to start with some breathing meditation just to neutralize our thought, our mind. So whichever breathing technique you like to follow, just merely following the breath in and out through the nostrils, or you can focus on the rise and fall of the chest as the breath enters and leaves the body. If you follow the 9-round breathing technique, you can do that, which I explained earlier this week on Monday. So I'll briefly just remind of those instructions as we just focus on our breathing. So first breathing through the right nostril for 3 rounds, and exhaling through the left nostril for 3 rounds. And then switching sides, breathing in through the left nostril and out through the right. Then in through both nostrils together for 3 rounds, out through both nostrils together . And then we just focus our mind now on the motivation of our practice and of our day. So I'll just give my brief personal motivation, how we can start each day. The purpose of my life is to benefit numberless sentient beings. The purpose of my practice, this practice, is to benefit numberless sentient beings, to liberate all sentient beings from the vast oceans of samsaric suffering and lead all without exception to unsurpassed enlightenment. Numberless sentient beings who have been my kind mothers countless times and in beginningless past lives have showed me limitless loving kindness again and again from life to life. Therefore, I must repay their kindness. Therefore, I must generate precious bodhicitta, the mind of enlightenment, for the benefit of all sentient beings, through cultivating loving kindness and compassion unceasingly and indiscriminately for all sentient beings. Therefore, we're going to engage in this session today an analytical meditation on the stages, the graduated stages of the path, Lamrim. Today we're going to focus on how to follow the virtuous friend correctly. So we visualize the space before us through our aspiration of thought, our own spiritual guide arises in the aspect of Guru Shakyamuni Buddha. I will just share a visual on the screen. So he is seated, his body is the nature of golden light. He appears in a human form, 2 arms and 2 legs, seated upon a square-based Dharma throne supported by 8 snow lions, and upon that is a variegated lotus, upon which is a moon disk, and a sun disk. Upon that sits the form of Guru Shakyamuni Buddha in the Vajra posture. His right arm touches the earth, calling all to witness his enlightenment, and his left hand holds an alms bowl filled with nectar. And his hair is in 1,000 curls with a top knot at his crown. The top is a jewel. And he sits most peacefully, his face most radiant and kind, gazing down upon us. And he is at the level just above the crown of our head in the space before us. About 6 inches in size. And his eyes are like lotus petals, gazing upon us with great loving kindness and compassion. And so we recite the refuge prayer. So we're taking refuge in the 3 jewels, the 3 rare sublime ones, of which the Guru embodies all 3. I take refuge until I am enlightened in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By my merits of generosity and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit transmigratory beings. I take refuge until I am enlightened in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By my merits of generosity and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit transmigratory beings. So we're taking refuge in the Buddha, which is the divine awakened state of mind. The Dharma are the teachings which guide us to that awakened state. The faultless teachings. And the Supreme Assembly of those who have realized the Dharma and are on the path to enlightenment, to the state of Buddha, and they guide us. So we're taking refuge in those 3. I take refuge until I'm enlightened in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By my merits of generosity and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit transmigratory beings. So today, since we're doing an analytical meditation on the stages of the path, we will recite the prayer known as Foundation of All Good Qualities. So this prayer has all of the stages of the path up to enlightenment included. So this is a Lamrim prayer. The foundation of all good qualities is the kind and perfect pure Guru. Correct devotion to him is the root of the path. By clearly seeing this and applying great effort, please bless me to rely upon him with great respect. Understanding that the precious freedom of this rebirth is found only once, is greatly meaningful and is difficult to find again. Please bless me to generate the mind that unceasingly, day and night, takes its essence. This life is as impermanent as a water bubble. Remember how quickly it decays and death comes. And after death, just like a shadow follows the body, the results of black and white come a follow. Finding firm and definite conviction in this, please bless me always to be careful, to abandon even the slightest negative action, and accomplish all virtuous deeds. Seeking samsaric pleasures is the door to all suffering. They are uncertain and cannot be relied upon. Recognizing these shortcomings, please bless me to generate a strong wish for the bliss of liberation. Led by this pure thought, mindfulness, alertness, and great caution arise. The root of the teachings is keeping the Pradimoksha vows. Please bless me to accomplish this essential practice. Just as I have fallen into the sea of samsara, so have all mother transmigratory beings. Please bless me to see this, to train in supreme bodhicitta, and bear the responsibility of freeing transmigratory beings. Even if I develop only bodhicitta, but I don't practice the three types of morality, I will not achieve enlightenment. With my clear recognition of this, please bless me to practice the Bodhisattva vows with great energy. Once I have pacified distractions to wrong objects and correctly analyzed the meaning of reality, please bless me to generate quickly within my mind stream the unified path of calm abiding and special insight. Having become a pure vessel by training in the general path, please bless me to enter the holy gateway of the fortunate ones, the supreme Vajra vehicle. At that time, the basis of accomplishing the two attainments is keeping pure vows and samaya. As I have become firmly convinced of this, please bless me to protect these vows and pledges like my life. Then, having realized the importance of the two stages, the essence of the Vajrayana, by practicing with great energy, never giving up the 4 sessions, please bless me to realize the teachings of the Holy Guru. Like that, may the Gurus who show the noble path and the spiritual friends who practice it have long lives. Please bless me to pacify completely all outer and inner conditions, or outer and inner hindrances. In all my lives, never separated from perfect Gurus, may I enjoy the magnificent Dharma by completing the qualities of the stages and paths. May I quickly attain the state of Vajradhara. So Guru Shakyamuni is in the state of Vajradhara. This is the completely clear, light, awakened state. So today we're focusing on that one who is the foundation of all good qualities, as is said in this prayer, which begins from the start of the path. The foundation of all good qualities is the kind and perfect pure Guru. Correct devotion to him is the root of the path. By clearly seeing this and applying great effort, please bless me to rely upon him with great respect. So now we're just going to reflect on some of the points of these lines, these 4 lines, and this topic of the reliance on the virtuous friend. He's virtuous because all of his deeds are perfectly in line with morality and accomplishment of enlightenment, free from all faults. So please just focus as I go through some of these points, and we'll just reflect on them. This is the analytical meditation. So we will look at the positive side, and we'll also look at the counter arguments or the counter statement to these points. And we just contemplate which seems most suitable to our mind, to our experience, to our logic and reasoning. So we just let our mind go between these two and just let the mind rest. You don't need to fight, wrestle with our mind, with our thoughts. We're just merely hearing both positive and negative aspects of the points. So the advantages of relying on a teacher. So just bring to mind someone who is a Dharma teacher or a spiritual teacher in general, They could be from any religious denomination or background. And you can just use them as the object of this meditation. You can also then keep to the side of them. In space before you is Guru Shakyamuni Buddha. And you can see which one matches with these points as we go through them. So, one of the advantages of relying on a teacher is that we become closer to enlightenment. They have completed stages of the path as laid out by Shakyamuni Buddha. Is the only one known to have accomplished this complete enlightenment, freedom from nirvana, achieved nirvana and gone beyond nirvana. So the Guru Shakyamuni Buddha, for example, is guiding us. He's the reason he came to this world was to guide sentient beings to enlightenment. So if we follow his advice and rely on him, he will no doubt guide us there. Why would he guide us in a different direction? His aspiration is to lead all sentient beings to the same state he has found. His great loving kindness and compassion, which we can feel through the words. He merely wants to place beings in that same state. There is no benefit to him, nothing for him to profit from guiding us otherwise. He's free from all stains and counterintuitive behaviors, free from all contaminated thoughts. There's nothing, he doesn't feel to profit from anything. He's given everything away. Then we look at other teachers. Sometimes they're contaminated by greed, grasping at fame, reputation. They have something to profit from us, potentially. So we have to analyze. It's very important that we follow the right kind of virtuous teacher who can bring us to enlightenment and not take us in the wrong direction. Then we please all the Buddhas. So by relying on a spiritual friend who teaches the Dharma expounded by Guru Shakyamuni Buddha, pleases all the Buddhas. By listening and by relying on those teachings, of course, they will be delighted. If we don't, why would they not be pleased? Harmful forces and misleading friends can't affect us by relying on the virtuous friend. The virtuous friend is perfect in qualities. By relying on him and or her, we replicate those behaviors, or we try to at least. We're influenced by their perfect virtue. We emulate those behaviors. So then why would it not be that we would be guided in our behavioral habits in a positive way. Other friends, we can't guarantee that we won't be misled. They might appear virtuous at first, but when we get to know them, other worldly friends, we see they have faults, bad habits. If we rely on them, of course we might be influenced by them. So by relying on a virtuous friend, is the basis of all good qualities to arise within us. Our afflictions and faulty behaviors decrease naturally. Our virtue only increases by being around, thinking of the virtuous friend and their activities and their behaviors. What would they do in a given situation? So by relying on them, naturally our afflictions and faulty behaviors will be decreased. Our virtue only increase. We gain meditative experiences and stable realizations. Of course, by following a virtuous friend and not relying on our own guidance, we will be constantly making mistakes. How can we guide ourselves in practices, in meditations, that we don't know any better? We have to learn it from someone. So by relying on the virtuous friend, they will guide us through how to meditate, how to gain insight, and achieve meditative experiences that develop us on the path, so that we accomplish stable realizations. And by relying on a spiritual friend, a virtuous friend, we won't lack spiritual teachers in future lives. So if we believe in karma, karmic latencies and imprints, by relying on a virtuous friend, naturally, in future lives, the fruits of those will only be likened to their causes. Following a virtuous friend, it's more likely we will meet that virtuous friend in a future life. We will encounter them, we will be guided by them. If we maintain a positive relationship with them, we should maintain a positive relationship or meet with a positive relationship in the future. To not meet with them would be counterintuitive to laws of cause and effect. An apple seed doesn't produce a peach tree. If we sow seeds, we are most likely to gain the results of those seeds than if we hadn't planted them. We won't take a lower rebirth by relying on a virtuous friend. Again, with the laws of cause and effect, by following the deeds of a virtuous friend, being guided by them, increasing our virtue, of course we won't create causes for lower rebirth in future lives. Hopefully, if we've become close enough to our Guru and familiarized ourselves with our Gurus, made good connections with them at the time of death, they will guide us to a higher rebirth. It doesn't follow the laws of cause and effect that we would take a lower rebirth unless we particularly made aspirations to do so. Again, that would just follow the laws of cause and effect. And all our temporary and ultimate goals will be realized. So by creating virtue, engaging in virtue, we accumulate merit, positive potential in the mind stream, positive imprints that ripen positive results. Whatever aspirations we make, our positive latencies will be directed to accomplishing those. The ultimate goals being completing the stages of the path and one day achieving enlightenment. By following the virtuous friend, we're guided towards enlightenment, to higher births, higher states of realization. So of course we will naturally accomplish all our ultimate goals. We will realize stages of the path. If we don't correctly follow the virtuous friends, then yes, naturally our temporary and ultimate goals will not be realized. So just take a few moments just to reflect on those points. Just let the mind rest on the breath. Keeping in mind what we've contemplated in this session about relying on the virtuous friend, the spiritual guide, correct reliance. Do we have more conviction in this? Or do we still have doubts? Either are perfect good. Doubts lead us to further inquiry. We should continue to pursue this topic. In that case, if we have doubts, we should continue to ask questions based upon those doubts. Try to get some clarification. Do further reading, commentaries on this topic. And do further meditative analysis. To acquaint our minds with the topic and the points. And through meditation, we will strengthen our understanding, conviction, or further our doubts, all of which are healthy in our spiritual progress. And so if anyone does have any doubts that they want to briefly discuss, I'm not a knowledgeable teacher. I'm still very much a student. You can write in the chat and we can have some discussion afterwards, briefly. So now we'll just close the session with a dedication. So first we'll seal with emptiness any positive potential we may have accumulated in this session, that it may lead us all the way to enlightenment, that all positive realizations increase, never decline, with that which has not arisen may it arise in our minds and in the minds of all sentient beings. May we continue to be guided by virtuous friends, spiritual guides in all of our future lives as well as this life, until we meet with the phase of death. And that our spiritual guides may always have long, stable lives, that all their wishes be fulfilled, particularly all their wishes for Tushita Meditation Center to continue guiding students. So due to all the past, present, future merits collected by me, the numberless Buddhas and the numberless sentient beings who are completely empty of existing from their own side, they exist only in mere name. May I, who am completely empty of existing from my own side, achieve the state of full enlightenment, which is completely empty of existing from its own side, exist in mere name, and lead all the sentient beings who are completely empty of existing from their own side, existing in mere name, to that state which is completely empty of existing from its own side, by myself alone, who am completely empty of existing from my own side. I exist in mere name. So thank you everyone. Again, sorry for going a little bit over time. So have a wonderful day, and please try to keep in mind the points that we've reflected on in this session, so that you can continue to have this analysis throughout your day. It's a very important part of the path. It's the base of the path from which all the realizations and other stages of the path develop and grow, and our understanding increases. Okay, thank you everyone. Have a wonderful day. Thank you for joining. I will try to lead another session like this next week, moving on to the next stage of the path, which is the precious human rebirth. So I hope to see you then. Thank you everyone.